children. Today we are going to study the process of transcription. In the previous class we have studied transcription unit. So that is a segment of DNA coding for RNA. That is called a transcription unit. Today we are going to study what are the different steps coming under transcription. Transcription is the process of copying genetic information from one strand of DNA to RNA. So this process is called a transcription. And the steps coming under transcription are initiation, elongation and termination. These are the three steps coming under transcription. First we can study about initiation. The word is indicating this is the step that initiate transcription. Here you can see the structure of a transcription unit. So this is a DNA molecule. Here this is an enlarged portion of a transcription unit that we have already studied. Transcription unit consists of promoter, structural gene, terminator. And among the two strands of DNA, only one strand will act as template. The other strand is called a coding strand, which will not code for anything. Template strand consists of structural gene. New mRNA will form complementary to the template strand. So here during initiation, what will happen? That we have to study. So during initiation, the enzyme which helps for the formation of RNA strand is RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase is the enzyme which helps for the synthesis of new RNA strand. During initiation, there is a factor called sigma factor. This sigma factor will bind with the RNA polymerase enzyme because this factor is very much important for this RNA polymerase enzyme to bind with the promoter site. Because in order to identify the promoter site, RNA polymerase enzyme requires the help of sigma factor. So before the initiation or before starting the process of transcription, during initiation time, sigma factor will bind with the RNA polymerase enzyme. And after that, RNA polymerase enzyme can bind with the promoter site. Here you can see RNA polymerase enzyme and this is the sigma factor. Here the RNA polymerase enzyme is otherwise called a DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Why? Because the RNA polymerase enzyme is polymerizing depending on DNA strand, isn't it? So based on the DNA template strand, RNA polymerase enzyme is active. A new RNA is formed with the help of RNA polymerase by looking the template strand. So this enzyme is otherwise called, RNA polymerase enzyme is otherwise called DNA dependent RNA polymerase. So during initiation time, sigma factor will bind with the RNA polymerase enzyme. This helps the enzyme to bind with the promoter site and that process is called initiation. So these are the two main steps coming under initiation. Here you can see the sigma factor has binded with the promoter site. Now look at the two steps coming under initiation. First one, RNA polymerase enzyme binds with the sigma factor. Second step, this helps the RNA polymerase to bind with the promoter site and initiate transcription. These are the two main events happening during initiation time. Next step is elongation. The word is indicating here a new mRNA is forming. So during elongation, RNA polymerase enzyme is catalyzing this process. Elongation is catalyzed by the enzyme RNA polymerase. This is otherwise called a DNA dependent RNA polymerase. So this enzyme catalyzes the process of elongation. It uses nucleoside triphosphate as substrate. We have already studied 4 types of nucleoside triphosphate. As it is the synthesis of RNA, What are the nucleoside triphosphate that used for the synthesis of RNA strand? They are 4 types of nucleoside triphosphate used for the synthesis of RNA strands are adenosine monophosphate, guanosine monophosphate, cytidine monophosphate and uridine monophosphate. Uracil is used, uridine monophosphate, because it is RNA strand. So this enzyme uses new nucleoside triphosphate as substrate. Then it polymerizes a new strand, RNA strand, in a template dependent fashion. So the enzyme will synthesize new RNA based on this template strand. So it's polymerizing a template dependent fashion following the rule of complementarity. What is the rule of complementarity? That means if thymine is present on DNA, on the RNA strand, adenine will synthesize. That means adenosine monophosphate will synthesize here. Next, if the template strand consists of adenine, here it will synthesize uridine monophosphate. Next, we can see the template strand consists of cytosine. So, which nucleoside triphosphate will synthesize here? Guanosine monophosphate will synthesize here. So, that is called a rule of complementarity. So, the enzyme, RNA polymerase enzyme will polymerizes based on, depending on the template fashion, and also it will follow the rule of complementarity. Here you can see a new RNA is synthesized. Here we can see the RNA polymerase enzyme, and now we can see the sigma factor. It's not along with the RNA polymerase enzyme. So this process is called elongation. Next comes the third step, that is termination. When it occurs, when RNA polymerase enzyme reaches the terminator region, termination starts. This is accelerated by a factor, and that factor is called a termination factor or Rho factor, RHO, Rho factor, which is present at the termination site. We have already mentioned about sigma factor. That factor is present on the initiation time, that is present on the promoter site. At that time, it binds with the RNA polymerase enzyme in order to initiate the process. So here, in order to terminate this process, there is a factor called a termination factor or Rho factor. That factor is present on where? On the termination site. So this enzyme will bind with the RNA polymerase enzyme will bind with this factor, Rho factor, in order to terminate transcription. Clear? So during the termination time, there is a factor called the Rho factor, which is present at the termination site, will bind with the RNA polymerase enzyme. At that time, termination will occurs. As a result of this termination, a new RNA that is formed here, and the new RNA will fall off, and also the RNA polymerase enzyme will withdraw from the transcription unit. Here we can see the structure. So this is our transcription unit. Here we can see the terminator region. When the enzyme reaches the terminator point, it binds with the Rho factor, termination factor. As a result, this enzyme will terminate the process. Transcription will be terminated and the new mRNA will fall off, and also the enzyme will withdraw from that region. So these are the events happening during termination. Thus, the transcription is over. The 3 main steps of transcription that we have studied here: initiation, elongation and termination. So the steps of transcription is overall same in both eukaryotes and prokaryotes. But some differences are there. In transcription, both eukaryotes and prokaryotes are showing the same steps, but there are some differences between eukaryotes and prokaryotes based on transcription. Before the differences between eukaryotes and prokaryotes in related to transcription, we have to study another topic, that is types of RNA. That is, there are 3 types of RNA are present. They are rRNA, mRNA and tRNA. We are familiar with mRNA because during the central dogma we have studied mRNA. It's a process of copying genetic information from DNA to mRNA. There we have studied about mRNA. So in addition to mRNA, there are another two more RNAs are there. They are rRNA, that is ribosomal RNA, and tRNA, transfer RNA. What are the functions of these RNA? Ribosomal RNA, its otherwise, or the function of ribosomal RNA is it gives the structural and catalytic role during translation. Translation is the next event in protein synthesis. That is, from the mRNA, a new protein is formed. That step is called the translation. During that translation step, rRNA acts as a catalyst and also provides some structural role because it is present on where? Ribosome. Protein synthesis is also happening in ribosome. So rRNA having some structural and catalytic role during translation. Then comes mRNA, messenger RNA. Its function is it carry message for the protein synthesis from the DNA. And also mRNA acting as the translation unit. What is translation unit? We have studied a transcription unit. DNA is the transcription unit. A portion of the DNA is called a transcription unit. Translation unit means this is the unit where translation occurs. From mRNA, next protein synthesis occurs. So here mRNA is acting as the translation unit, or mRNA is the template for translation. Next comes transfer RNA or tRNA. What is the purpose of tRNA, or what is the role of tRNA? It brings amino acid for the protein synthesis from the cytoplasm to the site of protein synthesis. Where is the site of protein synthesis? Ribosome. So to the ribosome, amino acids are entering, or amino acids are coming along with the transfer RNA or tRNA. So tRNA bring amino acid from the cytoplasm to the ribosome. In eukaryotes and prokaryotes, transcription steps are same. Both of them consist of initiation, elongation and termination. But in eukaryotes, there are two additional complexities are present. They are, first, the complexity, the RNA polymerase enzyme. Prokaryotes requires only one RNA polymerase enzyme in order to transcribe three types of RNA: rRNA, mRNA and tRNA. But in eukaryotes, there are three RNA polymerase enzymes are required for the polymerization of these three types of RNAs. They are RNA polymerase enzyme 1 transcribes rRNA. In rRNA, there are different types of rRNAs are there. 28S rRNA. S stands for Swedberg unit. This is a unit that representing RNA. So here RNA polymerase enzyme 1 transcribes 28S rRNA, 18S rRNA and 5.8S rRNA. Then RNA polymerase enzyme 2 transcribes hnRNA. Its full form is heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Actually, hnRNA is the precursor of mRNA. Directly mRNA will not form. Instead, first of all, hnRNA will form. hnRNA will undergo certain changes that we will study later. After that, it becomes mRNA. So, mRNA is not directly forming. It is formed through hnRNA. And hnRNA is formed from which RNA polymerase? RNA polymerase second. And RNA polymerase enzyme 3rd that transcribes tRNA and 5S rRNA and small nuclear RNA, that is snRNAs. These three RNAs are formed from RNA polymerase 3. tRNA, 5S rRNA, snRNA. So this type of differentiation is not present in prokaryotes. Prokaryotes, there is no differentiation of RNA polymerase enzyme. A single RNA polymerase enzyme transcribes rRNA, mRNA, that is hnRNA and tRNA. But in eukaryotes, there are three types of RNA polymerase enzymes are used. Then comes the second complexity, that is the newly synthesized RNA that will undergo some changes or processing. That is called RNA processing. So this RNA processing is not present in prokaryotes. It is present only in eukaryotes. So the newly formed RNA, the primary transcript, will undergo certain changes, that is collectively called RNA processing or post-transcriptional changes. Post means after. After transcription, the newly formed RNA will undergo certain changes. They are called RNA processing or post-transcriptional changes. They are splicing, capping and tailing. These are the post-transcriptional changes of RNA or RNA processing include splicing, capping, tailing. We can study about these three in detail. Splicing. See, I have already mentioned eukaryotes structural gene is split gene. What do you mean by split gene? Yes, the gene consists of both coding part and non-coding part. The coding region is called exon and the non-coding region is called introns. So in eukaryotes, the structural gene consists of both coding part and non-coding part. So the newly formed RNA should also consist of what? Coding part and non-coding part. So the newly formed RNA should also consist of both exon and intron. So this RNA will undergo the process called splicing. During splicing, the introns, that is the non-coding regions, are removed and the exons are joined in a defined order. So here we can see a DNA. It consists of promoter, here terminator, and in between the structural gene is interrupted with both the coding part, this is exons, which can be seen in orange color, and the non-coding part, the introns, that can be seen in green color. Green color is representing introns. So these are the introns and the exons. So during the formation of RNA, that is during transcription, a new RNA is formed. That RNA is also consists of both the intron and exon. That is the primary transcript also consists of both coding regions called exon and the non-coding part called introns. So this primary transcript will undergo splicing, where this introns are removed, green color parts are removed, and these exons will join together. Here we can see a new mRNA or new RNA after splicing. It does not consist of introns, it consists of only exons, and the direction 5'3', because the RNA polymerase enzyme transcribe only in one direction, that is 5' to 3'. RNA synthesis occurs in which direction? 5'3'. So here we can see a new RNA with a 5'3' and there is no introns because it is formed after splicing. So splicing is removal of introns and joining of exons. If hnRNA is formed through transcription, it will undergo again additional 2 more processing. All the RNA will undergo splicing, but hnRNA will undergo additional 2 more processing. They are capping and tailing. So what do you mean by capping? Here we can see cap is placing, isn't it? So cap should be placed on where? On the head portion. So here the head portion is where the 5' end. So onto the 5' end of the newly formed hnRNA, methyl guanosine triphosphate MGPPP. So that is added on to the 5' end head portion, starting portion of the hnRNA. That process is called capping. Cap is placing onto the head portion, that is 5' end. And the second event is tailing, that is onto the 3' end. Onto the 3' end of this hnRNA, a polyadenylate residues are added. Polyadenylate residues are added onto the 3' end. That process is called tailing. So hnRNA will undergo additional 2 more processing. In addition to the splicing, it will undergo capping and tailing. That is, capping means Onto the 5' end of the mRNA or hnRNA, methyl guanosine triphosphate is added, and onto the 3' end, polyadenylate residues are added. So, the hnRNA will undergo these three changes: splicing, capping and tailing. Then only it becomes a fully processed mRNA. So, the mRNA is formed through these three changes. They are splicing, capping and tailing. Next we can study how transcription is different in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. There are some differences are there between prokaryotes and eukaryotes in related to transcription. They are, the first one, in prokaryotes transcription occurs in where? Cytoplasm. But in eukaryotes transcription occurs inside nucleus. Here prokaryote there is no nucleus. Instead, we will call a structure called a nucleoid. So, here the DNA can be seen on where? Cytoplasm. So, automatically the transcription is also present on where? Cytoplasm. Here, transcription occurs inside nucleus because DNA is situated inside the nucleus. That is the first difference. Then come to the second difference. In prokaryotes, only one RNA polymerase enzyme is used for the transcription of 3 types of RNAs. But in the case of eukaryotes, there are 3 types of RNA polymerase enzymes are used. They are RNA polymerase enzyme 1 transcribes rRNA. What are the different types of rRNAs? 28, 18S and 5.8. And 2 RNA polymerase enzyme 2 transcribes hnRNA. That is a precursor of mRNA. And 3 transcribes tRNA, 5 is rRNA and snRNA. So that is about the second difference. Then come to the third difference. Here the post-transcriptional changes or RNA processing are absent. The newly formed RNA does not undergo any changes like splicing, capping or tailing. But in eukaryotes, the newly formed RNA, that is the primary transcript, will undergo splicing, capping and tailing. That is in the case of hnRNA. So they are collectively called post-transcriptional changes. These changes are present in eukaryotes. So these are the 3 main differences between eukaryotes and prokaryotes in related to transcription. Today we have completed the process of transcription, post-transcriptional changes in eukaryotes, and how transcription is get differentiated in both eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Hope you understood all these things. Thank you.